Hello everyone! Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. This is Ria Luz of Buhay Buhay sa Amerika, right at home. And tonight, I have a very special couple to present to you. These are the couple of Eric Senabria and Ramona Arias, a good friend of mine. And they want to share with me something. And instead of just sharing with me, I want to share with you what they wanted to share. So without further ado, I would love to introduce to you Eric and ang ating magandang sister, Ramona Arias. Hello.
Hi,
everybody.
happy Sunday afternoon. Thank you.
Yes. And by the way, happy birthday, Ramona.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Ataria. I'm very happy to be here. We always search and look to bring value to our communities together. And so I'm glad to be here today with everybody who is watching us. We have a lot of information, but we condensed it a little bit because, there's so many different things that we may be able to help with. We are now financial professionals, and so what we focus on is we help communities to bring awareness of finances. Financial world is so big, and one of the main topics that have been coming up for people in both of our communities and everywhere really in the United States is the topic of living wills and trusts. Often it sounds simple, and it could be simple, but you always want to make sure that it's going to be something specific that you need to your situation, because not everybody's situation or experiences are the same. So we always want to stress that out to myself. This is Eric, my husband, to both of us. We always want to focus that it's going to be the best option for the person that we are helping out there in the community. And so we will tell you more about that today.
Yes, and before you tell that, I wanted the world to know who is Ramona and Eric, and
Yes.
how I got to know you, and what you have done also for the community. And as
Yeah.
we know, last November, Philippines was struck by two typhoons, and one typhoon in particular is Typhoon Rolly, and we had this fundraising at Scooptopia here in Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona, led by Ate Tess Bailon and Dr. Pam Sapanta, in cooperation with Buhay Buhay sa Amerika and the Filipino-American National Nurses Association of the Grand Canyon State. So this couple, Ramona and Eric, came in and brought their whole family. And this is one of the moving experience I have with the two of you is you did not just come and eat and leave. Instead, you come back, you brought Eric, you brought your two other kids, and especially Maya, your daughter. What moved me and Ate Tess and all who knew what she has gave to us is instead of asking to buy halo halo for her $10 that she can donate to Catanduanes, she said, I don't need to buy. And she willingly give her money instead of getting something in return. And that is one thing that stuck with me. And I thought of what an amazing couple you are, raising such wonderful daughter. And so I know that Maya just had her birthday recently. So Maya, happy birthday to you. And yesterday to Ramona. So that is how I would introduce the two of you and your couple. Because
Oh, yes.
you know that when you do something good for others, it will always be remembered. And talking about something good, I have this friend of mine that earlier, Thomas Sagayo, my good brother, all the way from California, just had a grand live streaming, and I was there but did not listen. My computer was just on, so I did not hear exactly what's going on. and I heard Thomas was able to give away money to people. And one of the person who that's what happened when you are in YouTube. There are people who are actually willing to sponsor and donate some money for others to get that money. And one of the sister is Maricris Maneja. Di ko na po natapos live niyo inantok. Si Maricris Maneja is another mom who is actually in need of something. And so talking about that, Thomas, let's the winning that I supposed to get from Thomas, because I did not answer. I think Thomas canceled it and give it away. But Marie Chris, we will send you something. So I spoke to Thomas already. So this is, I hope that it can help your daughter, because Marie Chris Maneja is one of our YouTuber who is her daughter just had, or her child, I can't remember whether a daughter or a son, is sick right now. So yan. And sabi ni Thomas, Buhay Buhay sa America is one of my sponsors during my live stream. Yeah, so this is the good thing about people are making a good investment by doing something good for others, because when you do something good for others, people remember. So what you have done for Catanduanes, I remember. So when you were asking me, when can we have the time? So
Yeah.
I gave you this time because I want to listen to your presentation, because I'm interested about this living will, because I believe all of us need to understand about living will, and also must have one, especially now that we are in this pandemic. We are in an uncertain time, because any time we could go. And if you did not prepare about what will happen to your asset for your family, then that's the problem. And maybe you have a lot of stories to tell about that. So I let you tell us, what is this living will and being prepared, preparing for the unexpected. So I'll take it away from here and let you speak.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ateria. Yes, thank you. When we saw the event at Scooptopia, we had recently, before that, been introduced to Halo Halo, and we loved it. And so when you were there, we're like, oh, let's go try it. And I was passing by because I was coming by in the area from an appointment, and I said I have to bring my kids because they loved it when we first tried it with one of my friends who is, actually she's Filipino, and we loved the halo halo. So that's how it came about. And there, when I walked in to Scooptopia, everybody was just so welcoming. Everybody was very welcoming to me. It felt very like a family. It felt like home. And so I said, okay, I got to bring my kids and my husband. And so the kids were excited. We went, and Maya, last minute, she just kind of, when we get there, she tells me, Mom, I want to donate, I want to give money. And I said, oh, okay. So that was a surprise to me, in the sense of, I didn't know she was planning to do it there. But we try to teach the kids about giving. I think when we give, it's good because you never know who might need help. And sometimes it's money, sometimes it's a word, and sometimes it may be a hello. But yes, so we are here. We're excited to be here. We're going to share with you all about the topic of living wills and trusts. There's lots of information. We're going to share some of the basic general information. And I invite you to ask questions and and we will try to bring value to you by answering those questions. If not now, maybe connect you to the right resource, because we do have a platform that allows us to teach about it and help people about it through use of us, financial professionals, and also of our lawyers who are part of our platform. So that way they can help you, and we make sure that it's specifically to your need, because not everybody's situation is the same. Okay, so I introduce to you my husband Eric Senabria. He will be sharing some of that information.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ateria. Thank you, Ramona, my better half, of course. I like to share my mom's story because that's my one of my personal reasons why I do this and why it's so important that we educate families on what happens. Because when someone passes away, it's a very difficult process. There's a lot going on. So if we don't prepare for things ahead of time, it could get very messy for the family afterwards that's already grieving, but now they're focused on something that I'll talk about in a little bit, called probate court. So when my mom passed away in 2006, we knew that she had a living trust. So, and I'll talk about the difference between wills and trusts. But she had a living trust. She had it. It was all printed out. We found it in a bunch of boxes. But that's another thing we want to talk about, is that you want to have that in a binder where your family can find it. But we found this living trust. But unfortunately, in her case, there are certain things that happen. Okay. And so we'll talk about how we need to keep that paperwork updated. So what happened was my mom refinanced her house a couple times. So when she had the living trust in place, the house was under the trust, but the bank that she was that she paid the mortgage to had changed. So that one little complication caused us a lot of time with lawyer fees. So it's important that you keep, even if you do one, that you keep it updated. And so we're also able to help you out with that, so keep that in mind. But so what happened, she passed away in 2006. Our house was in California. It was a good year for the market, those couple years, but then 2008 happened. And then unfortunately, the house it was worth $340,000, which was pretty good. And then it went down to about $110,000. So we were underneath on that loan, and everybody knows about 2008, right? The housing crisis. So we were trying to work with the lawyers to keep it out of probate court. And unfortunately, we ended up having to let it go to foreclosure. So, that was something painful for us because, like most people, whatever your assets are in life, you want to pass it on to your children, to your grandchildren. You want to keep that within the family. Okay. So it is important that, that you prepare those documents. Okay. So, let's talk about, why somebody would need a will, first of all. Okay. Because what's important about a will is a legal form that gets signed, that gets notarized, right? That says who your things go to. Okay, so very important to think about. Okay, if you have kids, at the very least, you want to have a living will, because that living will is going to decide. You're going to decide there. Okay, who do I want my kids to go to in case I pass away? Okay, so maybe sometimes, like in our case, we're husband and wife. Well, I'm thinking, okay, well, if I die, Ramona will take care of the kids. And then Ramona's thinking, okay, well, if I die, Eric will take care of the kids. However, let's use our example. We travel to appointments, or we travel together a lot. So what happens if, God forbid, but we get into an accident, then who will our kids go to? So it's important that we're thinking about it. You parents out there, please, who do I want my kids to go to? Because what will happen if we don't have any plan in place and we pass away, the court is going to decide who gets the kids from our family members. If we don't designate somebody, they're going to decide, and they by then may end up in foster care. And that's a very painful thing, because imagine you lose your parents and then you're in a foster home. Yes.
And I can actually relate to your question, because just a friend of ours just recently passed away and did not have prepared like that for their daughter. And now the daughter is in the foster care. And because there was no, and they have properties.
Mhm.
Imagine the
Mhm.
state, the kid is now under the the state's care.
Uh-huh.
Wherein, if they have prepared that living will, there are relatives and there are friends who will take care of that kid better
Mhm.
than what the state could do.
Mhm.
We know how difficult it would be for going to someone's house that you, or people that you don't even know. You're in the mercy of the state. And
Yeah.
so I butt in because I know that story, and that anytime I think about that, it still hurt. And that's why I was thinking 2021, I need to do something. I want to learn that I myself, I need to do that as well. So
Mhm.
please continue. And for those of you who are watching, please ask questions, because these two may help us to understand better what is this living will, and those financial issues, questions on financial issues. Uh, I think these are very hard questions, hard to ask, because we don't want to think of dying,
Mhm.
but it is a reality. There are two things that is going to happen in our life. But basically, changes are always there. And number two is death and dying. And another thing is debt, as in DEBT. Another one is DEDT. So, and all of those are actually very unforeseen. I mean, it's coming, and we always think it's not going to happen to us, but it's good to be prepared. So keep going, Ramona and Eric.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, I appreciate you sharing the story because it's really important, because everybody knows somebody, and when we listen to these stories, it gives us a more personal understanding of what is really at stake, for our kids in this case, right? The living will, again, that's good, that's very important if you have kids. Also, it says who your stuff is going to go to, right? So let's say like a car, or personal assets. Okay, so that's covered in a will. And a will, like I said, it's a very basic document that everybody should have. Sadly, only about 50% of people have this. Okay, so you can think of all those kids, unfortunately, that are caught in the court system, or when things have to go into probate court, which I'll explain. Probate court, that's a specific court that every state has. And so, what happens if you do not set up an estate plan, which an estate is everything you own, right? Your estate is your properties, anything you own. If you don't have a proper estate plan, sadly, the government has one for you, okay? And that's probate. So probate is the court system that decides who will get it. If you don't have something in place that says, okay, the house goes here to these people, my car goes to this person, then the court gets to decide who does that. And unfortunately, when that happens, probate will end up costing about 5 to 10% of someone's estate. So let's say if it's a house that's worth $300,000, we're here in Arizona, but let's say in California it's $1 million home. So think about that. 5 to 10% is about 50,000 to 100,000. So that can get very costly, especially if that's what you're leaving to your family. You want it to go to your family, not to court systems, right? So the living trust, right, is in addition to the will. That is for your properties. In addition to, like we said, we can offer more specific information, if you guys reach out in a one-to-one consultation. But also, businesses, anything that you own can be put in also a living trust. Okay, so like my mom did, right? She had her house in a living trust. Okay. However, things change. Maybe you sell the house, or maybe you buy another house. So you want to make sure that you keep your living trust up to date. Okay. Because if you had one house when you started it, But then the second house you bought, you didn't put it on there, then that one is not protected, right? So those are some of the main reasons why you need the will. Again, that's very important too. And then also the living trust. Okay, Ramona, you want to talk a little bit about the advance directives?
Well, one thing that I wanted to add to what you were saying, Eric, is it's probate can be a lengthy process. On some occasions we've heard that it takes 12 months, maybe a little bit less or a little bit over. And so, when we're talking about we lost somebody that was dear to us, and you're dealing with the emotions and the mental, distraught, the feelings of it, you don't want to put family through that, and so that's super important, because it could take time, to figure that out. And then also it can take some of the, like Eric was saying, some of the estate value will be decreased on that so that it can go to the family the correct way. So instead of going through that process, when you prepare for that, for that time when we're going to go, like Ria was saying, one of the two of the things that we have for sure is changes will happen, and we will be leaving this physical earth, one day. And we want to be prepared for when that happens, whether that's going to be, we don't know when that's going to be. It could be in a week, it could be in a year, we don't know. So it's good to be prepared. But go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, I saw we have some questions coming in too.
Oh, may mga request dito. Sorry, I'm talking in Tagalog.
It's okay. We want to learn. It's okay.
There is someone who asked, Ate Josie Clarissa Lee. She asked, will you please explain later how the revocable trust works? Thanks. Thank you, Ate Josie Clarissa, for asking question. We all learn from this because Ramona and Eric are both financial educator, and I think we can learn from them. And my good brother, Madman Babo, thank you so much. He's BG supporting. And my good brother, Bob TV, pwede po akong matulungan. Mag-exam po kasi ako ngayong March, kaso kailangan magpa-swab test. Wala po akong pambayad sa swab test. Sana matulungan niyo ako. Ayan, kaya talagang kailangan nating we all need to be financially to be financially equipped. We have a lot of people that we need to help. that one is asking for financial help to get a swab test. So, do you have an answer on that, Ramona, on the question of Ate Josie Marisa?
There you go. For the revocable trust?
Yes. Explain how the revocable trust works.
Okay. So that part right there, the revocable part, that's important. If you remember back to what happened with my mom, is that it was put in place, right? Her trust. However, it wasn't updated. Okay. So the revocable part means that you can change it. So you're gonna have a trustee. So a trustee is the person that you're leaving in charge. For example, in my mom's case, my eldest brother was the trustee. So you're putting that person in charge because in the event when you pass, when you're not there anymore, the trustee is the one that's going to make sure that everything in that document, because it's a legal document, right? It gets signed by a notary. It's notarized. They're going to make sure that, okay, so if the house is supposed to be sold and split between the kids or the grandkids, they're going to be the ones that make sure that all happens, right? Mm-hmm. If anything in there in the will, because the living trust also has like a will component to it, where you can specify certain assets that you want to go to certain people, or I want $5,000 to go to a certain family member. All of those specific directives that you give are in that living trust as well. So for example, too, let's say you have minor children, and you know what, you're like, well, I don't want them to have this $20,000 or $100,000 right now. I want it to be given to them when they're 18. So then that trustee is the person who's going to make sure, hey, that person gets what, again, that directive was. Okay, so very good question. I know I talked about it a little bit. I'm happy to to also explain this. Like I said, we do complimentary consultations, based on your guys' situations. But thank you very much for the question.
And I just wanted to highlight again, my good sister Mary Hida, all the way from Las Vegas. She commented, "I would like to learn. My husband and I have one daughter, so logically, everything would go to her. But so, can you fill in the blank?"
Right. Very, very good question, Mary. Thank you for the question. Yeah, so we're thinking that, okay, so if I only have one child, it makes sense, right? That
See,
it's my things. They get left to my daughter, right? So the way to start there would be to have that will to make sure that those assets are in place, right? Also, the living trust, because if it's not put within a living trust, because what happens is, okay, so like we're married and we have a house together. Okay, so if I die, yeah, we it was in the closing documents when we bought the house that she will get the house, right? But what happens if both of us die and we don't have a living trust? Again, it goes to probate court. So even though your daughter, right, let's say you have a house and you leave it, you're planning to leave it to your daughter, but there's no living trust there, it still goes into probate, and then they will decide, they will sell the house. And again, it takes a couple years to go through probate, and then they will give the rest of the money to your daughter after we go through probate process. So again, that living trust saves a lot of headaches, saves them a lot of money as well.
wow, we're learning a lot from you. And I want our friends to keep asking questions while we have you, because
Yes, please.
it's a good thing that we can learn about financial issue, and especially not only financial issue but legal matters.
Yes.
These are things that we don't want to talk about until we die, because we we don't want to think of dying. But
Yes.
all go there. But the most important thing is to get ourselves prepared, not only physically, spiritually, mentally, in now, including financially, because it's a big, uh, that's a very big part of life. Sabi nga, to live and to die are both expensive. So being prepared is actually the most important thing.
Mhm.
Says, wow, yes, we are learning.
Oh,
And
that's great, Mary.
and Ate Josie Clarissa also, thank you for your answer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're
So I
welcome.
invite our friends on Facebook and on YouTube who are watching us today to keep asking question. There is no such question as silly question. Sabi ni Maribik Reyes, ang ating Maribik Reyes, the owner of Ate Maribik, tell me what is that company you have? The Dimpleberries? I remember yung kanyang, she has a boba place here in,
Oh.
Oh,
yeah,
sounds delicious. We love boba.
you better go there and check it out in
Yes.
Yes, for
Bell
sure.
Road. See,
Oh, railroad.
yes, may promotion na si Ate Maribik Reyes. Sabi niya, that's good to know. So ask questions, and more questions you have, the more answer our Ramona and Eric can give us. And
So while we're waiting on questions, yeah, I know one thing I didn't cover too are those medical directives. And, a lot of people in the medical profession, I'm sure, see this a lot, is that what happens to us if we can't make decisions for ourselves? Like if we are in a coma, if we're ill and we're not able to answer for ourselves, it's important to have medical directives. Okay,
yes,
so right. So that's something that's also covered within the will and living trust realm. It's important to have that in place, because if you're unconscious, and what if you're stuck with that decision? Like what if you had to decide, do we keep her on life support, or what is the person's wish? And so that's important, because that's not always guaranteed. You're not going to have access to, because of HIPAA laws, you're not going to have access to your family members, even maybe your adult daughter. What if they go off to college, for example, and something happens, and then you're wanting to get information about their condition, right?
Mhm.
Those, just, it's important to have those medical directives in place, so that you're able to help that person, that family member, so that you have access. So the hospital says, yes, we can speak to you, or yes, you're allowed to make decisions.
Wow, you read
Yeah, thank you, Justice. Yeah.
mine. Yes, I gonna ask that, and that's a very good question, because we work in the hospital, and every time the doctor has to ask you, if suddenly you could not breathe and has to be resuscitated, would you be willing to be resuscitated or do nothing? So that's a very important thing. It's
Mhm.
not because you will happen to be intubated or something, but every doctor has to ask that if you go to the hospital. And I think that's a good point, Eric, when you said even our kids when they go to college, because we are not right there, and they become what do you call, older, and by the time they are no longer legal minor, then we have no more say. So
Mhm.
that's a very important um, point. And meron tanong uli, aba, si Mary Hida, she's really listening. My sister passed away 7 years ago, and fortunately, her husband knew that she did not want to remain on life support. She had a heart attack, and she was on life support less than 24 hours, according to her wishes. See, that's why it's good to have your wishes. It's like a wishes come true,
Yes.
because they know exactly what you want. And it's and sabi ni ang ating kuya Pierre Burgard, good advice. Thanks. And as a husband and wife, or even it is a very important topic to talk about what I want to what's my wish when I die, including the preparation of what clothes you want to wear, what kind of service you want to have, what kind of music you want to have on your funeral. These are topics that people like, no, why were we talking like that? But it's a very important topic, and everyone has to get those things prepared in our mind. So thank you, Ramona and Eric, for opening our mind and making us feel that this kind of questions are open. And the more we ask, and the more we bring this to people's mindset, it will help them to prepare. That's why. Oba, my brother, all the way from Malaysia, Lito Juliano TV. Thank you for coming. And my good brother, all the way from Canada. If
Yes, Pierre, very true.
you plan to fail, you plan to fail.
Yes.
Mhm.
And thank you so much, my good brother, Madman Bobo, for coming, Bobo. And shout out sa Binilito Juliano. So if you have more questions, please do not hesitate. Ramona and Eric are here to help us to navigate on those questions that we want to ask, but we don't know who to ask. So, and Pierre Burgard says, I just retired after 23 years as financial advisor, a very important profession. Thanks to your guest. Congratulations, Kuya Pierre. I did not know that you are a financial advisor. He is also a spiritual advisor. In
Oh,
Yeah, he's Kuya Pierre Burgard. Now that he retired, um his passion is to help alleviate the suffering of men and women on topics of pornography. See,
Wow.
we have,
Yes.
we have a lot of taboo topic today.
Yes.
But these are important issues that we need to tackle in life. And if you go to Kuya Pierre Bourgard's the organization he represents is High Noon. This is the organization that not promoting pornography, but allowing men and women who experience that to get free from the freedom from that problem. So, Kuya Pierre Bourgard, put your comment in the comment your website. And we got many people in YouTube that are still waiting. I think this opens up their mind, huh? I think
Yes.
taboo topics are very important. Maybe next time
Yes.
I will talk about sex. I think that's a very important topic.
That's another taboo.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Ramona?
Oh no, I said that's another taboo. Lots of taboo topics that we can comment on. Yes,
Everybody will have all ears when it comes
all
to
ears and open.
It'll be like this.
a very important topic. Don't miss that one. And I invite you, Eric and Ramona, to hear that.
Yes.
Let's talk about sex next time. I will. I
Yes.
will to death and now sex. I just topic.
Ah, yes.
I hope we get everyone's attention. No one's no one's asking questions. I'm sure they're laughing.
Yes.
So, how can people connect to you if they have any questions? I know I put your numbers there,
Mhm.
and I hope I wrote the right number. Is that the
Yes.
right one?
Yes.
Yes, yes. So we're our office is based here in Avondale, Arizona. However, we're licensed in different states. So you can reach out by our phone number. If you're outside of the United States, we can probably work to get you connected with someone that can help you. Like if you're, for example, say in Canada or another country, we can see who we can connect with that they can help you. Because countries may be a little bit different. So.
Yes, that's
Um,
our other.
Yes, and there's our business card. Yes. So please, yeah, reach out to us. Text us. We're also on social media. Ramona Arias and Eric Senabria on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
also on Instagram. And yes, we're happy to. We're doing a lot of Zoom right now because we have COVID restrictions. So, phone, social media, our email as well. And we're happy to sit down. We can do a complimentary just needs analysis to see what it is that we're needing. As you see there, we also help out with retirement, with doing rollovers right now, something that's really important. College planning for your kids. There's a lot more services that we can offer you within our financial professional role. So my cell number, I know it's on the screen, but just in case you can't see it, 602-989-1040. Ramona's is 323
719-8769. And that's our direct line. We also have an office number, but most directly this way because I know things have changed nowadays with this pandemic. And so we want to be more accessible to our community and be able to answer, their calls more directly through text message or calls. So we're open to either or.
So read it again, Ramona and Eric.
Yes, it's for Eric Sanabria, it's 602 989 1040. And for myself, Ramona Arias, it's 323 719 8769.
All right. And
And feel free, text works well. I know a lot of people text, so just you can text. You met us through the through Ateria's program, so that we know, okay, so we were talking about living trust, and we can also see how we can help you.
Yes, so just mention Buhay Buhay Samerica and we will know where you came from.
And then Ate Josie Clarissa Lee, all the way from California, asked, if
Oh,
a non-revocable trust, can I still change it to a revocable one?
good
Okay.
question.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And Josie, that would be one that we would want to talk about more. We again, we have lawyers within our platform that help with specific cases, so we would want to give you more information tailored to your situation. Yeah.
That's good. And you have a lot of contacts everywhere who
Yes.
can help. So if maybe someone in California, Ate Josie Clarissa can be reached by someone from that area.
Mhm.
And thank you so much, Ate Josie Clarissa Lee, for asking that question. And while we're still here, I mentioned Kuya Pierre Bourgard's number is high noon. The the site is highnoon.org, Life Without Shadows. And
Mm.
suddenly, I actually brought in, I let them come up so Ramona and Eric can have more conversation.
It's 602-989.
Kuya, can you turn off first the sound of the YouTube? Thank you. And I will be bringing up Kuya, Pierre Bourgard.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Hi.
Oh, hi. I have some fellow financial advisors here.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, so I'm just jumping in like in the pool and the water is cold and I'm just getting used to the water here. But
Yeah.
when you're with Filipinos and people from the Southeast Asia, it's always warm.
Yes. My sister all the way from Taiwan is here. Ring the bell of Pinay lifestyle in Taiwan.
Oh,
Let's do
Taiwan.
Maria and
Wow,
Bob.
a golfer.
We are
Maria
doing-
plays golf, really?
Yes, she does. And she's
Wow.
a very good golfer. And
She looks very good. She has posture. I can tell you that. I know golf. I play golf.
that's why just the
All
golf.
financial advisors play golf, right, Eric?
Not all of them. I still
Not
hope
all of
to.
Some of us sing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Sing.
Hobby of
Wow,
singing
you put yourself
or
on the spot.
hiking.
If you sing a song, Ramona, questions are going to pour in.
Oh, great. Here we go with another taboo topic.
let's make it who sings, Eric or Ramona?
Ramona sings.
Yeah, I like singing. It's more of a hobby, but it's there.
Wow,
You
I
sing, can you do banga banga style?
Oh, not yet.
here, Ramona is actually Mexican. Ramona and
Ah,
Eric are
just,
couple.
you're like the Filipinos because the Filipinos are the Mexican of Orient. You know that, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're cousins. The Mexican and the
Yeah.
Filipinos are cousins.
yeah.
Our fathers are cousins. Yeah.
Right.
So, since we are in the topic of, we will have the sex next time. Our topic is a financial issue and the living trust, the living will, which is
Yes.
a very important issue. And Ramona and Eric
Yes.
just shared with us very timely on this matter. Do you have anything to add, Kuya Pierre?
Well, in Quebec, we have something called, I posted it in the chat. I don't remember the name because we work in French here and we have a special, we have in Canada as the common law, British style of law, and a civil code, Napoleonic code. Because first it was settled by the French and the Napoleonic Code, and then we became under the British Empire. So we have the Queen of England on our dollar. We're a constitutional monarchy. And it's very unusual. The French and English together formed the countries. We're very proud of that. And so, but it creates a very confusing kind of situation where, for instance, we have two legal systems to deal with for different things. But we have something in Quebec where you can go on the website. We have a universal Medicare, which of course is satanic in the United States, right? It's like communism. It's very scary, but we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. And under that regime, you can go on the website of the Quebec government's health insurance board, and you can go and fill in some end of life directives, which will essentially allow, if you have a really unreversible sickness or situation, you can ask to hasten your last moment, so to speak. So
Yeah.
it's not euthanasia. Somehow it's on the borderline. It's a very delicate kind of difference, end of life directives, which will allow, if you, the doctors have to sign on. So doctors have to confirm that you really have an irreversible situation and so on. It's not something like someone who's depressive and can't take life anymore can go and use. That would be strictly euthanasia. But doing this is something, so you could have a living will in your clause in your last will. So in case end of life directives, what to do. But this is a step further, and you do it on the website of the health board in Canada, in Quebec. That's it. Where all the health is managed by province, which was like a state in the United States. So we have our own system in Quebec, and I think it's a pretty good system. So then in case of end of life directives, usually you need to have all the family there to agree, and then it can be done. That's standard procedure. This would allow for a person to have given directives while he had his whole mind, and then when he doesn't have his mind anymore, they can go and consult it. And yes, he did say, if this situation happens, I want you to do the necessary steps. So I think it's very good. It takes away a lot of pressure on the family, because that's the worst possible decision you can ask your children to do, is when to pull the plug. It's very tough. And as
Yes.
we know, in many families, it can lead to even ugly kind of problems between various siblings.
Yes.
Well, I really appreciate that you came up, and Ramona and Eric has shared with us very important issues and topics that is hard to speak, but we have to talk about.
We have to stop being afraid of talking about death, because the moment you're born, you're starting to die. You're gonna die one way or the other way. There's no
Yes.
question about it. I was a financial advisor to when my client's average age was 85 years old. So I was talking about death all the time. I would joke about it. I would, and look, we're gonna go there and take. It's not that bad. Apparently, I hear that they're having a lot of fun up there. So that's what I hear. So
Talking about having fun out there, I believe we will have fun when we die if we prepare. But if we did not prepare and do something good while we are alive, we really have no party out there. So I think that is similar to financial planning, spiritual planning, and it's a very important issue that we really have to prepare. And amazing that we have people, even all the way from Bongabon, ang ating brother, Tito Armando Hiron.
Oh, Armando Hiron. Oh my God. I can't
Yes,
believe it.
yes,
He's famous.
yes, very famous man in Philippines, in everywhere.
Oh my God.
This guy,
This is a
masaya
big, big station. If he shows up here, this is big.
Kuya Tito Armando Hiron is one of my guests last time. He's
Yeah.
very famous in the Philippines and everywhere he goes. He brings joy. He brings culture, and he's large. He's bigger than bigger than life. Sabi niya, hi there.
Nice to see him.
He also now has his own show in the Philippines, and
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
so proud of him.
I heard
What?
he's very popular amongst the senators.
Yeah, he's popular everywhere in the Philippines. He's a celebrity, Tito. Kuya.
Wow, I know, I could feel it. I mean, it's like, ooh, you feel the energy from this guy just looking at his face.
It's
Yes,
amazing how you bring so many people together all over the world,
Yes.
Ria. It's so
Yeah,
wonderful.
I think that is my forte, is bringing
yeah.
people together. That's where I feel joy. And
Principle for
Kuya
fun.
Tito Armando's new show is called Sibong Cultura. Yeah,
Ooh, that sounds
you gotta
nice.
show.
Cebu. You
Yeah.
know, I have a good friend from Cebu. Her name is Anale Patindol. You know her, Ria?
I heard about her, and
Yeah, you should supposed to come on your program.
I
She's
know.
working with poverty alleviation and helping victims of human trafficking in the
I, I
Cebu area.
I wish Kuya Pierre,
Yeah.
this is my job. Then I will have to talk to people every hour. Unfortunately, I have other.
Well, hey,
Yesterday,
yeah, I know, I know.
we had a very good show with Honorable Mayor Pro Tem of Artesia, California. Hello, Mayor Pro Tem Melissa, Honorable Melissa Ramoso, with my co-host Dr. Ria Flores Tamayo at the Entre Mujeres Radio. And it was a hoot. It was a really good topic. We represented the Filipinos very well. She's actually the California State Democratic Chair of
Hallelujah. All right. Lots of
and
good Democrats out there.
yes.
Yeah.
See, he's getting ready for an interview next week. So yeah, he's getting ready.
Hey, I work with the liberals in Canada. You know, in Canada, in the States, you have Democrats and Republicans. In Canada, we have liberals and conservatives. Very good liberal allies here. Really good people.
I bring, as you were saying, yes, I bring people together. Yesterday, my guest is Democrat, and my co-host is a Republican.
That's fantastic. That's it.
We
Because,
need
you know, I know
diversity.
we believe in head wing, right?
Yes,
Ria, head wing, not left wing, right wing, head wing. Bring everyone together. One
yes,
human
Yes.
family.
that's what I
Yes.
try to do. And we got
Yeah.
even Ate Esther Faith
My
Batino
God,
from
tell you,
Masbate.
we're go. She is extraordinary. You gotta hear. Did you see her last weekend for
Yes,
Valentine's Day? The couple. I'm talking about to Eric here. Did you see her?
yes,
You didn't. You gotta catch that. You gotta
yes,
catch the 14th of February program with Esther Faith and Eddie Bettino, the true Harana
yes.
couple. You know what is Harana, Eric? If you don't
Serenade.
know, Ria will
Serenade.
explain to you what is a Harana. You two are a Harana couple. I can see it.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
a Harana couple.
I think, Ramona, I think that since you can sing, maybe this last week, Kuya sang for Ate Esther. Maybe this
Yeah.
time you can sing for Eric.
Ah,
Yeah. And
By the way, to,
we want a harana, huh? We want a serenata?
yes,
you
Renata.
got it. Oh, you know
Yeah.
that. You do. Oh, okay.
And
Good.
sabi ni Ate Esther, I'm interested in this topic. See, I tell you, money, sex, a very good topic. Don't talk about religion and politics. I think we
Or
get
everything else might be a great topic then.
And everything of that is around the food, you know. Good food
Yes.
and then good
yeah.
Oh,
topics. Holy macro.
food
You're
is the
See,
doing
best
good.
topic for me.
yes.
Food, yeah, food. You can't go wrong.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
Ate
thank
Esther,
you.
what is the topic you wanted to ask? If you were asking people what their questions are, because we got the financial professionals up here on this segment
Of
right
course,
now. Eric, do you
people
have
want to
any?
know what's the stock to buy to make a lot of money. That's usually people want to hear that. And
I
you
think
know
that's
what's the
another topic.
answer? What's the answer? Never buy a hot pick.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Yeah, only invest in something you really understand. This is what's his name? The Sage of Omaha says that. What's his
Yeah.
name? the sage of Omaha.
Yeah, we know him by
You
face.
know who we're talking about. Another one who says that is Jim Rogers, the adventure capitalist.
Ayan.
He
That
became multi-billionaire by the age of 38 years old with the quantum fund that he did with George Soros. And you Google him, listen to his advice. I love the guy. He's fantastic. And he said, don't never buy a hot pick. You know, you
that's
hear
good.
this is it, you're going to make a lot. Don't do that. He said he was buying wine companies in China, made a lot of money with them. Then he said, don't go and buy a wine company because it's like at the beginning of the century in the 1900s, people were wanting to make money with cars, car companies, right? How many of them survived? How many,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
At the
Kuya
beginning of
Pierre.
this last century, it was the same with tech stocks. How many of
Yes.
them survived?
I,
So
I, I
be
think
careful. Be careful.
I think we need to
Yeah.
we need to set up another topic on that money issue. This
Around
time,
the finances. Yes.
you're a very good. We can learn so much from you. Ate Ate Esther Faith is interested on the preparation of the will. In
Well, that was for
She was
Eric.
saying
That's for Eric.
when Eric actually shared briefly about it. Do you have anything more to add on that, Eric?
On the preparation of the will.
Yes.
So I'm not really sure the question.
Yeah.
I know the question is about the preparation of it, but is it how we prepare it or how does one go about it?
Yes, Ate Faith, if you can clarify your question, it's very broad.
So while she's getting prepared, I'll say that in Canada, the way it works, we have three forms of will. I don't know about the states. Have that are recognized legally. The holographic will, which means handwritten by your hand, no witnesses signing it, just written by your hands, and people will know it's you because it's written by your hand, and no witnesses, nobody influenced you. And second one is a will before witnesses. So that would be either usually before an attorney, or it could be just before witnesses and recorded. Uh, Anyways, before witnesses. And the third form, which is the one we have here in Quebec, because we have the Napoleonic Code, we have a notarized will, and a notarized will is the only type of that does not need probate. You don't need to go to court to certify it. It's very simple. But you probably have notaries in Mexico because you probably have the Napoleonic Code in Mexico. Am I right? But not in the States. So that doesn't apply. So it was just
They're now
while
in
filling up
the
time.
US. Ito, kuya, wait a second. Merong question si Ate Josie Clarissa Lee. Who can answer this? Please explain Roth RIA.
So that goes now, yeah, into, like I said in the beginning, it's like a huge topic, right? Finances, and you know this, right? That it can open up so many different questions. I think when we get into that, the Roth IRA, I'd like to see maybe if we can talk about that another time, Ria, because it's like almost like another world.
Yeah.
Unpacking the different aspects of that.
So, which is something we definitely can help people with as well. But it goes into a different topic. So I don't want to confuse people because, you want to focus on just the meaning of the living will and the trust right now.
Yes.
It can get confusing and it doesn't get into other things, maybe, other stuff like life insurance, like investments and other stuff, which is okay. We can talk about it. It's just I don't want to confuse anybody. So maybe at the RIA, if you want to, at the Josie, the information is there. Maybe if you want to give us a call or if it's okay for us to reach out, you can let at the RIA know as well. And then this way we can answer specific questions around that. Or also we're always open to, collaborating if we want to do one of these later on as well.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard
That's a
to.
very good answer.
It's it's a hard question to mix all in one. But I really appreciate all of you for joining. I know that I only gave an hour for this beautiful couple because I have to do another thing to help someone and in a time, I'm time constrained today. Ate Faith says, yes, the basic thing to do. We didn't have a lot of money saved, but we have properties in the Philippines about our end of life decision in case we are confined and needs decision regarding our health. Oh, see? And she gave
Yeah.
her number. Yes.
Mm.
If you can reach out to Ate Faith to help her in this question.
Yeah.
She is in Massachusetts. Maybe you can have someone from Massachusetts among your group. Um,
Yes.
and Ate Faith Batino, to talk about Ate Faith Batino, she is an expert on marriage. So tamang-tama.
Mm.
We're talking about it. We're talking about sex. She can also talk about that. Uh, we can see this conversation opens up a lot of it's like a can of worms. Now we're going to talk about taboos next time. So
And not only her, but her daughter was on your program.
yes, yes, the whole
Yeah,
family.
on this subject.
Yes, I think you really are a great um, guest because not only we were able to talk about finances, death and dying, and will preparing for the unknown, and then we even have forecasted. We'll talk about sex next time. Maybe when I post about let's talk about sex, many more people will come and listen. So thank you so much for all of you for coming
Okay.
on this
Thank you for having us.
un, I know Sunday is your time with your family, and I appreciate that you give your time with us. And Eric and Ramona and Kuya Pierre Burgard, I gave him a name, the one who gave the title for a Filipinos. Filipinos are the spice of the world. That's what
All right.
Kuya Pierre Burgard says. So, Ramona and Eric, you are also the spice
Thank
of
you.
the Mexican community here in Arizona. We thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming in this late Sunday afternoon. And Kuya, thank you for coming, jumping in, and sharing us with us very great topics. So it's like ano lang to appetizer. So we'll have another time to deal with more issues. And I said, let's talk about sex next time. Uh, I I I see. Sabi ni Ate Josie Clarissa Lee, great show! Yay! Thank you so
Yay.
much.
Yay.
And Ate Esther Faith Batino says, yes, you can call me my dear, sabi niya. And
Oh,
I really appreciate Ate Josie Clarissa Lee all the way from California saying, we have a great show. And for your viewing pleasure, please come join us and be a part of our of Buhay Buhay sa Amerika. You can subscribe to Buhay Buhay sa Amerika in YouTube, in Facebook, and in Instagram. Our hope is to bring in not only information about life, but also bring inspiring stories of our kababayan here in America, as well as help us to unite together, work together in harmony, in love, and in hope that every one of us can be a part of a greater community if we come together as a whole. And I thank Kuya Pierre Bourgard all the way from Canada, but still embracing us like just a good neighbor. And Ramona and Eric, thank you so much. March 6th, we have the West Covina Mayor Honorable Letty Lopez Biado. She is
Wow.
a Mexipina, Mexican and Filipina descent, who is
Mhm.
now the West Covina mayor.
Fantastic.
Yes, very exciting. And I actually have nominated our, I just sent her the nomination for the Outstanding Parents Award for the Filipino International Community of America. There
Wow.
is this there is an Outstanding Parents Award that is going on in March 27, and this is a very rigid uh, award, rigid nomination. They have to make an essay on their story, and based on that, the the judges will determine who wins the Outstanding Parents Award of the year. Imagine that. So I have nominated the West Covina Mayor Honorable Letty Lopez Biado. So if you have anyone you wanted to nominate, let me know and I will send you the information about that. And maybe I can invite the Filipino International Community of Arizona of America leadership to talk about this Outstanding Parents Award next time. And that is how we can talk about sex. Because it's legal to talk about sex when there are parents involved. So, right?
All right.
So, thank you so much for joining me and Kuya Pierre and Ramona and Eric. Do you have anything more to say?
No, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and connect to our communities this way. And we really appreciate your time, Ateria. Any questions, please let us know. Let Ateria know. She knows how to contact me as well, if that's more comfortable for you. And, if you're more comfortable in a different language, let us know as well, because we do have people who can translate. So whether that's Spanish, whether it's Tagalog and English and, any other one, Japanese, whatever it is, Indian languages like Hindi or Punjabi, anything, we have those languages available. So feel free to contact us, okay?
Thank you, Ramona and Eric. Eric, do you have anything to tell Ramona?
I I mean, I just want to say, I have so much love and respect for you, and I was glad that we got to meet you back in November. And from the moment you guys connected through Facebook, it was just like we could tell beautiful souls just attract to each other. So thank you so much, and it's so beautiful to see just how our cultures we are intertwined, right? Like we said, we both share the Spanish lineage, and our
Yes.
languages are infused, and so it's great to see people connect the way they have through your show and through all the work that you do. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Eric. And Kuya Pierre, do you have anything to add?
Well, I want to say it's wonderful to be with you guys. I think I have a flair for character, and I think that Ramona and Eric are people of good characters. I encourage people to call them. They're gonna. I'm confident they're gonna give sound and objective advice, because that's what we need. It's complicated, and you need. You can see they didn't want to answer Roth IRA question just like this. They don't want to answer quickly. They want to really understand your situation and give you advice that is tailored to your needs, your situation, and even your character. Because there's not one shoe fits all. So
Right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, and we look forward to learning more about your work with your organization as well.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
thank you. Yeah, we're gonna change this world. We're gonna make this world a world where sex serves love.
Yes.
Sex is not supposed to be separated from love. Sex and love go together, like a horse and carriage. You remember the song by Frank Sinatra? Love and marriage. Love.
That is what I wanted to say about sex. It's not a bad sex, but a holy one. So Ramona, I got a book ready for you. When I was reading this book before, when I first got the book, I remember Ramona wanted to get this book. So this book is waiting for you when we meet, Ramona. I look forward to see you. The book Mother of Peace. This is
And I have it in French. If you want it in French, I can send you a copy in French.
Nice. We're gonna have to learn French too. You'll have to teach us.
and Dr. Hakjahan Moon, we call her Mother of Peace. We call her True Mother. She just celebrated her 78th birthday, just like Ramona celebrated yesterday. So let's work together in harmony, in peace, and in love. And to all my friends in Facebook and in YouTube, thank you so much for joining. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to Buhay Buhay sa Amerika. And we'll see you very soon. God bless you. See ya.